Hey friends, welcome back to Homeschool-ology. Today's video I'm going to be sharing with you our favorite or most loved, most played with open-ended toys. So I have a few videos coming out this month all about like learning through play, and so I thought this would be a good way to introduce the topic and tell you guys exactly what toys my kids play with like all the time. And so if you're new here, my name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. I have a 7th grader, 3rd grader, kindergartner-ish, and a preschooler. And so on this channel I like to talk to you guys about all things secular homeschooling, motherhood, having a large family, traveling with a large family, and everything in between. So let's jump into today's video. Today I'm talking about like our most loved, our most played with open-ended toys. So we do have toys that are not open-ended, but I try my hardest to stick to open-ended toys because they get played with more, not only by like each age level, but in general. Like all of my children will play with all of these toys that I'm about to show you. From my 12-year-old all the way down to my 3-year-old, they will all play with all of these toys. So these toys, even though some of them might be an investment, some of them can be pricey, they are worth it because they have some of these things that I'm going to show you have had since my oldest was, you know, a baby, and she still plays with them today. So let's just move in. I'm going to kind of start, I guess I'm going to kind of do categories, I think, here. So I'll try to do chapters here if you guys want. So like the first ones that I'm going to talk about are kind of like all building toys, and things, you know, things that they can build with or, you know, pretend play with as far as like making things from them. And of course the very first one is your standby just blocks. This set is like a little like castle or house set, so it has, you know, it's a little bit less open-ended because it's not just plain blocks, but they build all kinds of homes and castles and things for dolls and animals with these, and I'm gonna try to find this set linked down below because it's a really great set, and it's held up great. Like I said, I've had these since my oldest was 12, and you can't even tell that they are, you know, messed up. And some of them, I pulled out some of the nicer ones. Some of them do have some coloring and things like that on them, but these have held up really great. So I will link these down below. But blocks, they can do so much with blocks, and they're learning so much from blocks. But that's for another video. Tomorrow I will be hosting, or not tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll be hosting a collab on learning through play and the benefits of it and all of that. And I'll talk very extensively about blocks. So, but on that note, these are probably the most played with thing in our playroom, and it is magnet tiles. So if you haven't seen these, I mean, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, they're little magnetic tiles. Let me see if I can build something real quick. So they're little magnetic tiles, and you can build all kinds of things with these. My kids have built balls with the triangular ones. My kids have built, you know, tons and tons of boxes, cars. We have some that have wheels. So they built cars. But it's basically just these tiles, and there's magnets all the way around the tiles. You can kind of see them in there. And so these are pretty much indestructible. My children have built towers as tall as me and knocked them down, stepped on these, I've stepped on these, and they are still going strong. We have yet to have one break at all. So these are really excellent, and they are the most played with toy. Not only my children, but every kid that comes over to this house gets these out. They just are the most played with toy. They are an investment. They are not cheap. You can kind of sometimes get deals on Black Friday and Prime Day and things like that. So I will link these on Amazon, which is where I did get them for the most part. I have gotten some from Target because they were on the clearance aisle. So you can find deals, you can find sales. I know there's like Picasso tiles, which are like the same thing, and I don't have any, but I've heard and read that they work with magnet tiles and they're a much cheaper version, and that they are still good quality. So if you're looking for, you know, a budget, that's what I would say. But if you're, you know, if you're starting out with children and they are worth the investment. They are worth the money. So even if you can find it on sale, great. If you can't, I would still get them. They are just amazing. On that note, we do have mag forms as well, and they're basically the same thing. Like, there's magnets on the inside, but they just have like a hole in the middle. These are cool because they have like different pieces that you, like, some of them have like windows you can pop in here. We have a tree that will pop in here. I don't like these as much. So let me show you one of the reasons why I don't like them. So you see how I have 2 and 2 here? When I try to put these together, the magnets roll and they won't go together, and so you have to turn it around. So when I'm cleaning these up, I basically have to, like, I can't put these together. It takes twice as long because these, no matter what direction they're in, they stick together. They just pop right together. These, I have to work to get them to stack up nice and neat. And just in the way my playroom storage is, they have to be stacked to fit in the bin. And so that's something that I don't love about these, and I feel like their structures are not as strong. Like, there's only 4 magnets that roll around in these, and these have 8 magnets, and these just seem to be stronger. They can build larger structures out of the magnet tiles versus the mag forms. But these are also really cool. Like, they do play with these. We have like this house set that I bought that has like a light that lights up and a front door, and so they do play with these. But these probably only come out like maybe every other week, and these are coming out every single day. So take that for what it is. And then still in the building, there is of course Legos, and so we have these I got at Target, and I will link them if I can down below, but I'm pretty sure they have something similar at the Container Store. This is what I've switched to in my playroom, like all of these clear bins. I have this size and a big size. Let me get the big one, I'll show you. So this is the big version of it, and it has 2 handles. I don't know if you can, so it has 2 handles, and they stack on top of each other. So, like, I mean, I can show you here. It doesn't really work where the small ones stack, but you can see that they're the same size and they stack on top of each other. So these were a very large investment, the pasta containers, but my playroom has never been so clean. The kids can see what goes in each bin, and they actually put it back in the bin. Yes, it's not like a clean blank canvas in there, you know, it's a little bit more cluttered to the eye, but they can see inside of each bin and they know what goes inside of each bin, and they put it away, and they put it away properly. Like, they actually put the toys that go in each bin in the right bins. That's not just all thrown into one bin like it used to be when I had closed bins. So 1000% worth the investment. My playroom has never been so clean, and I wish I would have just done these from the get-go. So I'll link those down below. Even though those aren't open-ended toys, they're just my favorite toy storage. But anyways, back to Legos. So Legos, of course, and we have our Legos sorted into colors in these little bins, and so Legos, of course, by far one of the best open-ended toys ever. They build all kinds of things, play for hours with Legos. I have, you know, regular Legos, and then we do have Duplos for my younger kiddos. We don't have as many of those because they don't, you know, they just don't need as many. They're just not into it as much as my bigger kids are. But we do have Duplos and regular Legos, and definitely recommend those for sure. And then, if you watched any of my videos this summer, you saw that I bought these for car prizes. And if you don't know what those are, I'll link that video here. We give away like prizes every couple of hours in the car when we go on long car rides. And I bought these, and they came, and they were like so much bigger than I thought. So we gave them to my daughter as my 3-year-old as a birthday present. And they're just like these little wooden rocks. So they have these flat ones in a couple different shapes, and then they have these like rock ones in a couple different shapes, and they're stacking, so you can like stack them on top of each other. These, a surprising number of hours of play with these. Like, I didn't know they were going to be as popular as they were. They are not just popular with my 3-year-old and my 5-year-old. They are popular with my 12-year-old and my 8-year-old too. They come out all the time. They play with them all the time. Totally amazing. And I got this one on Amazon, so I'll link it down below. And this really wasn't all that expensive. I think it was like 30 bucks. And it's this whole box. This box is normally full. They're kind of dumped in another bin somewhere. But yeah, these are great. We really love them. And one last one on the building side are these wooden dominoes. So they're just like literally painted pieces of wood. And my kids do dominoes with them, like make domino things. They build with them. They use them as pretend food. They play with these all the time. Like these have been a huge hit and also not a very big investment. So these are definitely a win in our book. We use them all the time. So moving on to pretend play. So these things are a little less open-ended. Like they're a little bit more of a direction, but they're pretend play, so they're not like this. You can only do one thing with them. The first thing is these silk scarves, and these I guess are the most open-ended from this category. And these, are just plain little silk scarves. I got a whole ton of them for not very expensive. I'll link it down below. They're pretty good quality. But these are just like meant for just like sensory play. You can shove these in a box and let a little toddler pull them out. They can dance around with them, which is kind of what I bought them for. They can use them. They have used them lots of times to create, little dresses or little outfits, tied a bunch of them together to make outfits or headscarves, and to play an old lady or all kinds of things. They just put these over things that they're playing with. They're just, my older girls tied a bunch of these together and created like a whole ribbon dance from them. So these have just been a recent addition that I really wish I would have bought so much sooner, because they have just been a huge hit. So these silk scarves, all of my kids play with them, youngest to oldest. Next up is your standby cars, and we have like a little mat that they can drive on, and we do have some Hot Wheel things, but my kiddos, girls and boys, they all love playing with these little Matchbox cars, and these are easy to take along. Like these are easy to like throw a couple in a bag for them to play with, at the park, or play with at the dinner table if we go out to eat. So little cars are a big hit with us. And then toy trains and toy train track. So ours is from IKEA, and I absolutely love it, and it wasn't super expensive, and it's great. And this little train I got off of Amazon though, but it fits perfectly on the little wooden track. My track is from IKEA, and I absolutely love it. I bought a whole bunch of pieces because it wasn't all that expensive over several years. Like they got new train tracks a couple of years in a row, and so we have a big track, and so they can like do one in the whole playroom, and so they love it. My oldest daughter will put it together for my younger kids, and they will play for hours with the little toy train set. So that is another one that I highly recommend. And then little pretend animals, and I will honestly say most of these I got from Walmart, because they have this little like tube, and it's like there's safari animals and one that's ocean and one that's farm animals, and then I did buy a set on Amazon, and I'll link that Amazon set down below. That has some, but these little play animals we have used these for all kinds of things. They use the magnet tiles to build build a zoo and put animals in the zoo. They use these we use these in our sensory bins, which is another video that is coming up. So we use these in sensory bins. They use these to, we use these for counting. We use these for all kinds of things. So these little animals, and they don't have to be very expensive. You don't have to buy the super nice ones. You can buy the cheapy ones. And of course we have play dinosaurs too. I just didn't pull, they're in a separate bin and I didn't pull those out. But those get played with all the time. And so they're you know, those are a little bit more directed play, but having all these other open-ended toys around allows them to do things like build zoos and build homes for the animals, which, you know, expands on that pretend play. And then next up is toy instruments. So we love toy instruments around here. They play with them all the time. This little xylophone is from Melissa and Doug, and it has a little drawer where it stores the little mallets, and it came with little song sheets. So they show you what color, and they have the key on here, like, you know, what note it is. And so this we've had, obviously you can tell we've had it for a really long time because the paint is chipping off, but it still is working great. Like, it still is held up. It's got so many hours of play. So this one specifically I love, but we do, that bin that I showed you was like our music bin. We have other xylophones and tambourines and macrame. What are those things called that you shake? Maracas. So all of that. And then last but definitely not least, it is probably one of the most played with things in our entire playroom, from oldest to youngest, is our play kitchen. So we have this set is from IKEA, and I'm not sure if there's a couple of different sets from IKEA that I absolutely love and are not very expensive. So I don't know if these are the things that actually came in this, but little like things like this pretend food, and we have like pretend Melissa and Doug. I couldn't pull out a set, it's a mess right now, but Melissa and Doug has these like wood ones that like velcro together, and they come with a knife and you can like actually cut things. My kids love those, and the taco set from Melissa and Doug. So I'll pop up pictures here and I'll link them down below of those two Melissa and Doug things that we just absolutely love, like get so much use around here, which is why I couldn't find them to put together, because they're like all being played with right now. So but yes, so our play kitchen, we did get the one from IKEA. We do love the one from IKEA. The play kitchen, by far one of the most played with things in our entire home, and so those are like my pretend play. Before we go any further, I would love it if you would go down and hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you guys are enjoying this content and would like to see more of it. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can see when the other videos are coming out. And then this is just one that I didn't really know what category to put it in. I guess it could have gone in building, but this is just one that my kids play with all the time, so I wanted to include it here. And it is wiki sticks. So if you've never seen these before, they're basically just like strings covered in plastic. They're not like uber sticky, but they're like sticky enough to stick to things and definitely to stick to each other. So as you can see, like there's just a giant ball of them here that somebody created. But these, there's like online you can find like mats that they can play with and like build things and with. But my kids just love sticking these, like they make like whole villages on the wall. They just stick them directly to the wall, and they're not so sticky like that it messes up the walls at all. I wouldn't do it necessarily if you had flat paint, but we have like eggshell paint, so it's like a little bit glossy, and so it's easy to clean up. So I wouldn't do it if your walls were flat paint though. But for eggshell and up, it's totally fine to just stick them right to the wall, and they do all kinds of creations with these, and I just think these are the greatest thing. And they can be a little pricey, I guess, for what they are. They're just strings covered in wax, but they are worth it. I got like just like a big set, and I'll link that down below. It was like a huge set, and they are still playing with them. We got that for them like for Christmas 2 years ago, and they're still playing with them. And even though they might seem like a little like ratty in this bin, they are actually like still in really great shape. Nothing's broken or torn or messed up in any way, so they are still playing with them. So those are definitely another open-ended thing that my kids play with all the time, and I thought I would share in this video. So I would love to hear, what are your kids' favorites open-ended toys? What are some things that I could maybe add to my Christmas shopping list for this year? I need some ideas. So do you guys have any of the ones that we have here that I talked about that your kids love playing with? If not, if you have something that you didn't see here, I'd love for you to share it down below. Don't forget, you can follow us over on Instagram at Homeschool-ology and kind of see our more day-to-day life over there. I share when I can and when I think about it. And then I hope you guys will come back and chat with me again soon. Like I said, Wednesday I have a Learning Through Play collaboration where myself and a whole bunch of moms are going to be sharing like why Learning Through Play is important, how we do it in our homeschool, and everything that has to do with Learning Through Play. And this month I'm going to be sharing a couple of different things. Let me know if you'd like to see like a playroom room tour of how my playroom is done, and if you guys would like to see that, I will get that video filmed for you guys. And I think that's it for me today, and I hope you will come back and talk to me again real soon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.